realise this is super slow. So there was the breakout this morning. That was of the Tokyo range going into London. Very nice, but it was super early. Now London does not seem to be... It faked and then obviously went lower, so... Russell had his move to the, what did it do? Downside initially. And then another one to the upside of Tokyo. Where's the LiquiVision gone? Hey Nolly, how you doing? Yeah, just waiting for those early bird stocks. Nothing on those scanners yet, by the way. Let me know if you want me to look at something though, I'll have a look. Meta didn't do well. Oh, I meant to do that video recap actually. Where was it? On Meta. We had a sell side liquidity up there I've used on the show yesterday, and I said that could be an indication of what it wants to do when they release their earnings. And look, literally it had been up in that level, wasn't it? And I was saying all the time it's been working, accumulating in there, and there was the earnings. Literally, look at the gap. That was it. A little touch in, straight down. What you got? AUTS. Was that AUTS? The same thing on the futures, just as the stocks. Same, exactly the same thing. The only thing is we've got the overall sessions that we can look at. So the Tokyo session, London session. And then it's the gap between the two that I like to play. Because when we break out of those lows, a breakout and a pull back to it. So that was an early, I only caught a little bit of this actually, because it was so early this morning. And then pumped down into this level that I had off of a LiquiVision trend line, which I don't normally do in the stock show. But that was a 2-hour trend line basically. So I use the tool in the same way to you take a low to a high and add the trend lines on like that, and then I kind of draw over them so I can leave them on the chart. And that's how the 2-hour stands at the moment. So again, this trend line here was predicted from that high to that low. I'll bring this in. That high to that low. So this time the trend line was there all the time, and then we've come into that yesterday with the timing line, and we smack down into this, and then the same from the low to the high, give us this trend line, and that's the kind of first time we've touched into it as well. So now it's just a case of waiting, because the London move was done really early this morning. It doesn't look like any volumes kicking in. We'll see what we get at in Europe. It's kind of 9:42. In the UK it's 8:42, but so we'll see if 9 o'clock brings anything. Scanner's not even open yet on the stocks. So it's whether this trend line holds, because we've got the buy side liquidity sitting down lower here at 346 on the NQ. Just trying to give us a heads up on what might happen later on. In the meantime, that was that drop out. And London just literally faked into that previous high. So I should have actually been above that. Should have been above there. But very slow. So seeing if we can get a move back down to this buy side pull here. Which is possible. But I kind of expected this reversal here off of the highs. So I was expecting that. Let's change these up. So there was that benchmark down the bottom. There was the gap through Tokyo sitting in between the profit target 1 and 2, and then it pushed down into that benchmark. So I kind of was expecting this reversal here to pull back. Yeah. So it's just tapped into that sell side now as well. If you go to the first swing, there's your trend line that kicks in. Do I trade the DAX? No, I don't actually. Do we do that? Is there a DAX future? I mean, there is a DAX future. But I don't know whether it's available on Apex or not. No. I can have a look at the DAX whilst we're here. Hello, where's my Tokyo gone? Oh, it's not Globex. It actually is on the open, is it? The DAX. Yeah, of course, it's not a CME, is it? That's got some nice movement in it compared to the FTSE. FTSE hardly moves. Well, you get a nice opening move on that, don't you? It's the smallest one in about 5 days. Oh, okay. You can see how there you get that audio alert. Hopefully, you can hear that. Keep forgetting to flick back to the stocks. Yeah, the DAX is DAX moves nice. It's nice move. See that spread that I draw in on these? London seems to respect that really well. Coming out of New York's spread. It's the yellow line effectively coming across from New York and breaking out. Every one, look. And this morning as well. Jeez. Have a look at that tomorrow. People forget there's people that do this around the world, just not in the US, right? Do you get DAX future? On Eurex. So what do you trade then, Nolly? What's your go-tos? You seem to be around all the hours I am. Where are you based? Oh, you do the US 7 till... Alright, okay. So, what on earth are you doing now then? So is that US time? Alright, gotcha. Okay. Nothing convincing here. Yeah, I do like the look of this, but I don't think I can get it. I think it's only CME products, isn't it? Oh. Nah, never mind. So what have you got? Are you trying out all props, or you cash account? Are you on Trade the Pool, and are you on any of the futures, or are you I don't know, spread bet? So you can spread bet over here in the UK as well. I don't think that's a European thing. Kind of sitting up there in New York, then. So the idea of what I normally am doing here on the futures, when I've got the similar to the stocks, to be honest, when I've got the volatility, is I'm looking for I'm looking for price to come into one of the buy side pools, sell side pools, or the benchmark, and then I'm looking for that money to come in on the tape as usual, right? So similar sort of thing. And then zooming in that level onto the 1 minute, then, and then trying to grab the same pattern, right? Seeing if it holds initially, that one there. Thought I'd got the opening breakout this morning. That seems to be trending. But the Asia breakout seems to be better over here. Done another fake out up at that same level. These like little highs of Asia. Might see the first stocks pop in 3 minutes. The scanners go live at 9 AM. Oh, how many clicks to change the colour? On what product? What is it? You're trading that goes one on instead of two, just generally on the stocks, or you having to go at, when you say props, you're having to go at kind of all of them. You've got futures and stock. Oh, right, okay. And small caps or mids or big? Oh, from $10 up. Yeah, I find it difficult to get the volatility enough on mid caps to make any money, because you don't get the leverage, right? It's like you say, if the stock's only going 1R and you're not on the option side of it, you have to you either have to swing, you have to either be very good at a swing and either trying to capture the kind of move of the day, or swinging for a couple of days on that. Else, a lot of the interviews, right, that have been done of those people and their strategies are scalpers, momentum traders. So they're nicking what they can get with low risk. But yeah, they're not, they're literally like the momentum play that I say, on those stair steppers. All right, here comes a bar. Look. That's 9 o'clock. A little bit of liquidity coming in here. A little bit of a push. $74.25 is the Tokyo range. That got news? No. Nothing there. Sunshine Biopharma. What's the volume on this guy? 285,000, is that about right? Don't look like it to me. Oh no, that's right. Oh, there it was. Ooh, interesting. See, no halts in pre-market. That's why they run. No halts, no market makers. Yeah, shorting is a difficult play. I can't get into. I've got the same issue as Great Scott. I can't log in. Come on. Another go. Ah. You don't have open accounts. Yeah, I think because I didn't get to it in the end yesterday. But where's my my watch list here? Go. Bogey level. This is my plate, BON. This is the one I've been looking at for ages. And they even had a split on it. So I'm just waiting for this one to hit the scanners. I want this to hit the scanners this week. And I want it to go to $10. Currently in the 4s. I'm already long. I think I'm holding it from 4. Broke that liquidity pool, but held this one, stop under here. We'll see. I don't know whether it'll have a benchmark 2 on it. It depends on the volatility of the day, but I like it nevertheless. But let's have a look for what I'm talking. If we go back a couple of days, what's AGBA doing? Oh, where's all my moving averages gone? Lost them. So if you're looking at the small caps, they all the while you're under. Let's do a 3 minute here because this is going to be. All the while you're under. Where's the opening VWAP? That was the high. That's the day it popped. So the 2-day VWAP for longs, right? So you get a really nice break. It comes back down to buy side, whether or not you've got it. It doesn't matter. Just if it holds 50%-ish, 70%-ish of that initial push, it's not necessarily over. 200 EMA as well. Then it uses that 2-day VWAP. It comes in, so it still pushes. Clearly still front side. Shouldn't really be trying to short any of that. And then what you want it to do is flatten out, and then you can come to the intraday VWAP and see these VWAPs are going, they're trending up. If you see the I'll take this one off for the minute and hide the moving average. So you just look at the VWAP. Right. So you can see this is the VWAP. This is 1 deviation. This is 2 deviations. Whilst you're in that uptrend, the VWAP generally wants to stay above VWAP, and or if it's more aggressive within these bands, okay, which it's doing here. Now it can put in highs or whatever pre-market highs, but if we're going to define backside, you want to be under that and under, yeah, and in these bands on the downside. Alternatively, you can take, and this normally happens, you've got day 1, 2 and day 3, so you're normally looking for either day 2 or day 3 for this to happen. It's usually a kind of it works. So look, get this in. Small caps work on a bell curve basis, so they come in, they go up. It takes 1 or 2 days, maybe 3, and then they fade back down to where they came from. And what you've got to do is wait for that bell curve. Now sometimes that does happen on day 1, but most of the time it's not day 1, so you'd be effectively waiting for, if you put the additional band on this, so this is from the off, right? So the VWAP from the off, not the daily VWAP, and you're coming in you're pushing above these bands, you come back down to the band, you're pushing above the band. We're now under this band, so we are going to call it backside. If you put the moving averages on, when we come under the band and under the moving averages, this is a really nice one. Then you can take these sort of plays that come in to these, you know, this like kind of 50 and 70 moving average, 50 and 90 moving average. But the ultimate idea is it's when it's pulling back, using those buy side pulls or using 50% of the previous swing kind of thing. If you're just looking at that, that's the first indication, is you're taking that first swing. Does it hold? And the answer is yes, it holds. And if that's the first kind of time it's really done that, then your bias should change. So another one coming in down. Doesn't matter where you kind of draw it, whatever swing you're doing, they hold. And that's the point. So now on AGBA, if it pops to kind of 250, 270, that would be a better short than doing it any of the 3 days before, than shorting any. That's the best short right now. And that's also, you can also define it on a daily chart. Let's see if we got it. Yeah, you did. Take everything off. Oops. You let the green days go, and you can't discount these. You have to let it go. So 1, 2, 3 green bars, whatever it is, and you wait for the first red day. Now you can take the next short that appears. What's an example of a stock you would trade then? Give me a ticker you've been looking at over the last couple of days. So broke that sell side. Breaking that sell side brought in that push up to the next level. And took us to the high of Tokyo, the high of the Tokyo range, just above. Oh, we did break it in the end. Okay, so that's both the Russell and the NQ that have broke that. But it's on really, really low volume this morning, even for London. 200 down on the day so far. A storming day yesterday. Look at them bad boys there. Just replicate that today. Gappers that break pivot points on the daily. Oxy, what was Oxy then? ILAG just popped one set. Oops. Alright, so let's have a look at CR. So ILAG there looking to be a bit of a short, but obviously I can't log in at the moment and execute. So might stick with the futures this morning, but let's have a look at Oxy. So I do most of my analysis on the 2 hour. Obviously that means you've got to wait a little while to get the one you want, but that's kind of where I'd be looking for it. I don't know whether I do this application any justice, right? Because this is the way the levels work out, actually. Right, so even though I do zone that out, that's kind of what you are looking for, and in a lot of cases it's the first level. So you'd be looking for an entry in and then an entry out, and then you're looking for that thread to spread to form under there. Right, so there should be a clearly definable level. If you drop down onto, say, I don't know, so a 15-minute. Actually, I'll put it on the 2 hour and then you can see what it looks like on the 15-minute. So once it comes into that area, just grab that kind of first swing and then drop it down. And then you can see what you got in there. And when you see that, so this is where obviously I'm just bringing the tool in, right? So I drop the tool down onto the 10 minutes. If I'm looking in, what do I want to see down here is that all the way down here, clearly, no matter how far we go up, we would have been holding the sell side liquidity on every single push, no matter what time of day, every single push. Just checking, yeah, we're dropping off a little bit. It's not moving enough for London at the minute. 69. See, so that's the definition of my downtrend, especially when it doesn't. That time it doesn't come back for it, right? Is the time that you get your push. This one very sketchy pre-market overnight volume comes back here. So that push in to that level is exhaustion at that point. And then on the 2 hour, you kind of look for that low range and zone it out. Then drop into your 10 minute and look to see if you are putting in higher swings. So this one here, so both of, like this one would have been the first one on your 2 hour. And the answer is tried, but no. And then this one didn't even attempt. This one. And it doesn't really matter. You can just eyeball this, right? Are you getting high? Are you getting any higher highs? This one, no. So not the right time to long. This one, yeah, held what, 70% of its range. Next one, yep, held 70% of its range. Actually, I don't like that bar. I'd use this one. Yeah, so held its buy side there. Now this one is the push out. So this one is the one you want to take notice of, but the first push out isn't always the best. Like I said, you've got to wait for that pullback. Why get in at 67 when you can get in at 66.20? Wait for that pullback. Now the next one out is the one I'd be more comfortable taking. But there's always time to wait to limit in, right? Because again, now you've got a chance of getting in at 66.5 rather than 67.60. And you're literally getting in and risking that it doesn't go any lower. So you're risking kind of 50 cents there to see what you can get. And even now we're out of that zone. You've just held again. So yeah, the only issue at the moment then is, which is why I think you're looking at Oxy, right? Is you've got if you are looking left, you've got this daily support coming up. Whereas kind of what I'm thinking is, if I was doing benchmarks down here, I'd take that whole range and you're into profit target 1, right? That's the 90% trade. It's not always easy to catch. Sometimes you've got to be a bit ballsy to catch it, but if you can come back down to the buy side pull, you can anticipate it breaking and stopping at this level. So once, twice, 3 times. Now really this next stop should be 68.50 and then up to 69. That's how that should work. Right, and same, no different on the futures. So yeah, it's a decent trade, and all the while we're stuck here in that buy side holds, it's a good trade. The only difference, right, the only issue, if I bring this all in, the only issue with this is that this, for me, this is the trend, right? And it might go further into here, it might go up to 71 or whatever, but for me, that's the trade, that's the trend. And what you don't know is what it's going to do. So at the minute, this could have just gone up, back, straight through, back, straight up, accumulate, drop. So you can anticipate that. What we're getting on this one is this, right? So it's actually almost still accumulating more. So on that basis, you would expect a quicker pop to the upside. Whether or not it acknowledges profit take 2 or not, you can still do that. But if you're accumulating outside of this zone, you can get a quicker pop to the upside. But unfortunately, this is kind of like 90%. This is 80%. It just gets less a chance as you get up there. And there's nothing to say you wouldn't get up here and come all the way back down to a buy-side liquidity pool and then finish the trend. They're all trends. That is all a trend for me, that definition of a trend. But what should stay is buy-side liquidity holds it all up until you get to that benchmark. Have a little alert on Oxy. Alright, have we got anything going on NQ wise? Alright, so the magnet today for me is we went from high to low into the sell side liquidity pool up there yesterday, and again we done it, right? So the most recent one we're coming from is here, and we'll drag it down to its low today. Now we've got 572, 629, and that is a pull, not a benchmark. So that is the magnet for me. It doesn't have to go to a magnet, like I said. If it doesn't go there, then it can go, because it doesn't need the liquidity that's up there serving it. So what we do know at the minute is we've got a buy side that it didn't need initially, which is normal. Once it's accumulated at the bottom, doesn't always need the first one. The second one is here. So I would join them together now to the new high and keep following that up. So now we've got 440, which is in line with the VWAP from its last big push down at the low. And the more it pushes higher, the more that's going to drag up. But the idea of my trades are, so here this morning, would have been deep into that. That was a hard one to play this morning, that one on the long side, because it did come real deep into there. But yeah, that would have been one, so the long side. And I'm just kind of waiting for price to get in here, and then that range, when we're in the top there, it breaks out. So if you're coming in here and you're dropping down the time frame, yeah, that's the breakout I'm looking for. So it doesn't always come at the open obviously there is an opening range breakout to be done. So say here, that's when I'm going, right, okay, let's take that. This was at 6 o'clock my time, so what's that? 1 EST. 8 EST, so that's 3 EST the next day. And again, that, I mean, that is almost, that's doing the range in the whole sell side pool there. I don't even need to draw it in. So when it breaks out of that range, that's what you're looking for to the downside. And there isn't, when you do it like this, there isn't just a couple of, you know, ticks in it or a few ticks in it. There are a huge amount of ticks in it. But it is a lot of kind of patience waiting for those levels to play out. Getting a little bit more noise now around 9:30. Let's get back to where we were. So is this the pull, right? Is this the pull on price to the magnet? We're going to have a look and see if anything lines up down the bottom here. Last push. Yeah, so 7,450, a bit lower if I take the high. Yeah, 7,560. So the benchmark is aligned with that pull. So there's every chance that works. We've got 509 here to acknowledge and then 20. But the idea now is then, and we're not getting them right now, is a pullback to buy side liquidity. Few ticks off that one. Same that one. See what we got. Yeah, kind of building a bit of swing momentum here now. So let's take the most recent one. So I'm trying to let them push and not chase them, because when you chase them, that's when they make the attempt of coming back. In fact, if you look on a 3-minute bar in session, you'll kind of notice that every time you put in a new low, they pull back almost instantly after maximum 3 bars. 1, 2, 3, pull back. New low, pulls back straight away. So you have to be careful. But that's what I'm looking for, is the money flow to come in. So if I flick back to the futures chart, that's why you can see I've got here the tick strike on it, right? So this is looking at, so you can see the NQ here. I've got this size filtered on 5. Now that's a bit high for London, but I'm looking for those numbers to be big. So if it flushes all green, then that's why I'm getting my green push right now, because they're flushing on big orders. And this could just be one player breaking up his orders into these shapes. And sometimes when you add these up, they add to a nice real number, like 100 contracts or 50 contracts. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. If you get confluence on them all, that's really nice. The Russell can lead the way a lot of the time on this. But what these are essentially telling me is the speed of this. So when these start to flush, if I drop this down, Let's size this out for 2. See if we can see anything faster. So what we're looking for is when these orders start to come in really fast, and normally one way, then you'd see that tick strike increase for that market. Now in the open, when the market's open in New York, you then look for confluence or encouragement from one of the stocks. So here on the right hand side you have the Mag 7, right? So when the market's open, they give you the indication of which of the markets kind of feel, well, in this case it will be the Nasdaq, right? But the correlation counts. So it gives you the indication because there's more correlation between one of the Mag 7 on any given day. It can be a different stock each day, but when you're looking at that, which you can't see on time and sales, right, unless you're looking at every single time and sales, but this will give you an indication of one of these will be stronger. So Google, for example, can take the lead. When Google goes red and the market starts to drop, then the Nasdaq starts to drop. Nvidia, Amazon may come later, may start later, but there'll be one that kind of leads the day, and then you can keep your eye on that and say, right, today it seems to be Google and or Nvidia that's taken the lead for the Nasdaq, which means they have a higher relative value on that day to the other stocks. So if it normally trades 10 million shares, if its RVOL is 1.5, that means it's trading 15 million shares today. That's why it's leading the push on the index. So when you can find your RVOL on that big cap that's on the Mag 7, you will see that they're all, like, most of them are trending 1, which is the same as average volume for any other day in the last 14 days. But one of them will have a 1.5, sometimes a 2 if they've got earnings, have a relative volume of 2, or if they've got specific news. And then that's the one you can say, right, Google may, or like say Meta, if Meta starts to drop today, then the Nasdaq will start to drop today at that point. The others may follow, but that's your early indication. And that's what I look for coming into these zones. So if, like I said, if I flick back here a sec, you know, I've got a timing bar coming in here to say, well, at 12:30 today is my expectation of some volatility, right? Until now, it can just do things on low volatility, but obviously New York coming up. So this is saying before the open, we could expect some sort of move. So by then, I could be up here. And if I see the volatility on the tape, or hear the volatility on the tape, then I'm looking for price to reverse. So as I'm coming up here, I'm looking for things to be green in the most part. Green, 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 green on the tape. And when I get up here, I want to see that to be like big green going into it, really loud on the tape, and then a slowdown of green, and then a change to red. So it's going to kind of like, I just want to see, whoop, I'm going to grab that. Yeah, just want to see these pullbacks to buy side pulls, pullbacks to buy side pulls, just easy going volume on the way up. And then I want to see a run into this pull, and then it slow down. And then I want to see a pullback to sell side liquidity, like the one from here to here to here. Then we drop. And by then, this buy side pull would have moved up, right? Because I'd be going, right, it's now this low up to this high, therefore this pull is dynamic, it's moving with the price as the price is moving. So that's now actually up there, super wide, up there at 487, to the high of where it used to be. So that then becomes my target. See, I'm kind of drawing these without, you know, using the tool. But that would be my expectation of how it should work. So all I'm doing is really waiting for price to get to those boxes. I can scalp some of the way if it's strong. This is starting to look a bit better now than what it was around these lows. But we can scalp some on the way up. But when we get here, that's the trade that you want to hold on to. And to hold the trade, I'm on the 3 minute and hoping I can get these stair-stepping moving averages to hold price, which at the moment in London they're not. But if you look at New York, that comes into one of these, it doesn't matter what time frame we get in. Once you're in the right area, and this is where like this bar, the tape's rushing green, then everything goes quiet, then you get a push of red, and now the time you want to get in with the least risk. So pull back to a quick moving average or whatever it is. So again, bringing it in here, 2 minute, there's your break. This is a beautiful flush, right? But then them stair steppers continue to hold it. That's where you've already got into your target by then on the buy side. But that's when you're cutting the trade. If not, if you get a little close above these moving averages. And then we accumulated in this area. Don't know what we've done overnight. Then push right deep down to the bottom of it. Then accumulated a bit, and then now we're trying to push out of it, right? So now, therefore, my magnet is up here because that was the high of that push to the low. That's what I'm looking for. I might drop over and see if we can't catch anything out on here. Okay, mate. No worries, Nolly. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, nice one. Have a break. Take it easy. Who was that? Looking for that tape to show green now. It's only +5, it is very low. If it doesn't come in, we just cut. It's kind of London. Can always come back down here. It's a bit of a momentum play, but we do need that tile to turn green here, start popping green for us. If not, we just cut. So nothing else on that tile coming up at the minute, so we don't want to go. That was the candle that pushed down and reversed up. This one should have closed green up there. If we was going to continue momentum, it doesn't, so we'll just cut if that pushes a little bit lower. And there it is. So now you can see the NQ has gone the other way. You see the time and sales there flush red, which is why that did push down. So we don't want to risk that all the way down here, so we're going to let that come back. See if we can get that deeper push into the buy side pool. See if we can get it down there as well. And it dries up. Come on then, one more push from the NQ down, one more flush of red over to the right hand side would be lovely if we can get it. Ticking green. The ES is tiling red, but we want that NQ to tile red as well. Need a few more orders than that. See what I mean with this is the volume. It's like very, very scarce this morning. We'll have a go and leave it till the open in New York if that's the case, because we're not getting any follow through on these orders right now. And it totally dried up on the red side right now. Oh, here we go. That's better. In they come. So we've now got all three together going. So if we can get a little push down, that would be nice to fill our target just under that buy side liquidity pool if possible. Come on then, let's do that. So that was only on 5, 6, 7, 8 and plus the order, so that's kind of another one. Yep, come on, come on. Just want to see a flush of red now down to the buy side pull. I need that to step in now to finish that move off, else we're going to drag this right down quickly because we're not going to give it back, right? So now we're starting to tick green over here. We need that push down if we can get it. Need to be more than that. Otherwise we're just going to flatten here. Yep. No, nothing in it this morning. Okay, so we're not going to try and force it, I don't think. We're going to wait until we get to our nice level that we are waiting for, which is going to be up here today. Eek. Oh. So if we can get there, it's sitting up there. All right, so we're going to take a break and come back for lunchtime. All right. My lunchtime, US Open. So we'll do it just before about 1 o'clock-ish, which would be 8 o'clock in EST. Okay, catch you later.